This episode is sponsored by the Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races in West Virginia. Looking for New Year's Eve plans? Don't miss Hollywood Casino's pre-New Year's Eve party with Purple Experience in the Event Center on Saturday, December 29th. Receive 2 complimentary drinks with each ticket purchased. Details and tickets at HollywoodCasinoCharlestown.com. Must be 21 to enter the casino floor and attend a show. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Welcome to the newest episode of Beyond the Fame with Jason Fraley. I'm your host, Jason Fraley, picking the brains of the top filmmakers, musicians, and artists of our time. Actor Jim O'Heir memorably played Jerry Gergich on NBC's Parks and Rec, and is now the author of the new book, Welcome to Pawnee, Stories of Friendship, Waffles, and Parks and Recreation. He called in to share some insightful tidbits from the book, and ended with a fun rapid-fire salute to his hilarious co-stars. Hey Jim, hey, thanks so much for taking the time to join the show today.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's always great when you can talk to the great Jerry Gergich of NBC's Parks and Rec, which is celebrating its 15th anniversary because the show started in 2009, I guess. With your new book, Welcome to Pawnee, Stories of Friendship, Waffles, and Parks and Recreation. Now, I know you wrote this thing. It's the holiday season coming up. Why is this the perfect stocking stuffer for any Parks and Rec fan to treat yourself this holiday season?
Yeah, treat yourself. I love that. Yes. Yeah, you know what? It kind of is the perfect stocking stuffer because it's my experience, over 7 seasons on the show. And inside, for any of the true Parks and Rec fans, they're going to learn things they never knew, which I learned as I was writing the damn thing. There's so much stuff I never knew that happened, how it even came to be, because I was able to talk to the creators and then the other actors gave me their perspective on what was going on. So for hardcore fans, it really is, I like to think it's the perfect book. It's also, the cover is really fun, and it's got all the characters from the show and even out around Pawnee in general. And there's, the young kids use the term Easter eggs. There's a lot of Easter eggs on the cover. So yeah, it's a bright book. There's a lot of pictures in there that I guarantee fans have never seen, because the cast sent me some pictures and I had my own pictures. And so it's a lot of behind the scenes. So yeah, I think it really is. I think it's a perfect holiday gift.
Awesome. You said there's stuff in there that even you didn't know. So give us an example. What's like an anecdote of something you didn't even know?
Well, one thing that just blew my mind, I was having lunch with Greg Daniels, who created, and we're talking about how people were cast, and I found out Amy was not the first one cast. I just assumed Amy Poehler, the lead in the show, was the first one cast. But she was the first one they wanted, but she was pregnant at the time. And she's like, I just can't do it. The way the timing was going to work out, they just couldn't make it happen. And so they moved on. They were looking at other options. And then NBC offered them, because Mike Schur and Greg Daniels had been working on The Office. Greg Daniels brought The Office from the UK. And so NBC said to them, give us something else. Give us a spinoff of The Office. And Mike and Greg, they were excited to do something, but they really did not want to do a spinoff of The Office. So they came up with their own idea about this, government place, where you could have all the different crazy things that happen in government. And so NBC offered them the slot after the Super Bowl. Now that, in the world of television, is the dream slot. And they turned it down because ultimately they realized, we want to wait for Amy. This is Amy Poehler. We need this. And they turned it down, and they waited for Amy, and when Amy was ready, we started doing the show. So that blew my mind. Aziz was hired. They didn't even have a script. They just loved him, but he was doing a show called Human Giant. So there's so many things. I talked to the casting director. We found out that Amy found out that we were canceled at one point. And at the end of season 4, the executives got on a plane in New York, heading back to L.A., and they told us we were gone. And then somehow, by the end of the flight, we were back on the schedule. So, which are all really interesting facts. I'm glad I did not know at the time, because I was always worried we were being canceled anyway. And, for an actor to get on a show like this is beyond a gift. It's truly a miracle. I mean, the odds are so slim. And then a show, not only is it you're working actor and you're on the show, but the show, as time went on, became more popular and more popular. We're 10 years out since the finale, and here we are talking about it, and it's in syndication, and it's on streaming, and the young people keep finding it. But no, there's a lot of good stuff, and the pictures that people haven't seen. I think it's fun. It's really fun.
Wow, so that's gold. Thanks for the stories of, you're on a mid-flight, you think you're canceled, and then by the time the flight lands, you're not canceled. You've heard of canceled pilots. You're up with a pilot in the air. You don't know if you're getting me.
For an actor, that's terrifying.
That's great. Well, you mentioned Greg Daniels and Michael Schur, obviously, and having created the American version of The Office. And this, of course, had that great similar mockumentary style. I guess like Spinal Tap and Best in Show and all that had done it before. But this was like very much like The Office with that handheld, camera style, zooming in on your faces and the sit-down interviews. Like, why do you think that mockumentary sort of style with The Office and Parks and Rec, why do you think that just ushered in a new era of hilarity for television? It kind of got rid of the laugh track sitcom vibe and just opened up the possibilities, don't you think?
I think it changed all of it. And I'm a big TV guy. I've always loved television, so I'm so used to the laugh track like that, But they're basically telling you when you're supposed to laugh. Like, this is what's funny, and then we hear the laughter, and we're supposed to go along with it. I love mockumentary because let me decide what's funny. I love when a character turns to a camera and explains what the hell they're thinking. And I really, because you're right, like Spinal Tap, certainly a documentary. But for me, the first one I really became familiar with was The Office. And I became obsessed with The Office because the last gig I did in Chicago, a voice job I did was with Steve Carell, and it was for like Miller beer, Bud Light, I don't know, with some beer commercial we did. And so then I heard he's the lead of this show. I'm like, oh my God, I got to see this show because there's Steve, he's going to be the lead. And I fell in love with The Office immediately, and still love that show. And I fell in love with that style because, like you go see a movie like Spinal Tap, and, you have an hour and a half, hour 45, and there it is. But The Office was week after week after week. So I really love that style. Now, shooting that style is a little crazy because cameras are everywhere, which means you have to be there a lot when maybe you have nothing to say, but your character is going to be seen. And so, just the way they shoot documentaries, it can make the hours a little crazy, but I love it. There's a new show coming out. It's a hospital show. I can't think of the name of it, but I can't wait to see it. And one of the writers from Parks and The Office, I believe, is one of the co-creators on that show. But, I'm a big fan of the documentary style.
Oh, me too. And in terms of your character, Jerry Gergich, like what I loved about your character is, yes, he's always clumsy and the butt of the jokes in the office, but he doesn't care. He's always smiling. He's so secure with himself because he gets to go home to a picture-perfect wife and kids family. Christy Brinkley playing your wife and the kids. You're always smiling. So he always sort of had that ace up his sleeve. But Sir, I've always wanted to sing the breakfast song with you. Can we do it? Ready?
Eggs, bacon, and toast.
Bacon and
Eggs,
toast.
bacon, and toast. You should start your day the Gergich way.
The Gergich way.
Bacon and toast.
I love it. There's so many good songs. Even Chris Pratt's I Fell Into the Pit. And
the pit. And, of course, Bye-Bye Little Sebastian.
Bye-bye Little Sebastian, your 5,000 candles in the wind. I love all these earworms of these songs. But talk about how your character sort of had that family life, and it was sort of like that great dichotomy. That's one of the great sitcom twists.
Well, the character is definitely the put-upon character. He is the punching bag of the series. And there's a talking head where Ron Swanson says, every office has a Schlemiel and a Schlemazel. And in our office, Jerry is both. So Jerry was definitely if there was going to be a joke played, it was going to be on Jerry. And at one point, Mike said that, in the writer's room, it was so much fun to come up with mean Jerry bits that finally he's like, okay, we have to write other stuff too. And then he decided, if we want Jerry to stay around, right now, he has no reason not to just kill himself. Like, he's just constantly being, the punching bag of the office. He said, we got to give him an amazing home life. And so that's what they did. They had me married to Christy Brinkley, who played the beautiful Gail Gergich, and we had 3 beautiful daughters. And at home, they thought I walked on water. Like, Jerry had it all going on. And ultimately, if you're a fan of the show, you realize Jerry had the best life of any of them. Now, he loved them at work. He knew the situation. There's episodes where you can see Jerry, he gets it. He knows what's going on. But he also knew that at the end of the day, it was about his family. That's what was important to him. So they gave me the best of both worlds. And at the very end, spoiler alert, but it's been off for 10 years. I ended up being the mayor for 30 years, and I died 100 years old. Like, Jerry got it all. He really got it all. And the other cast members, when we were doing the show, and there's these moments where they're doing a Jerry bit, where they're being mean to me or mocking me. Like Amy Poehler and Chris Pratt would be like, "Oh, Jimmy, this one seems really mean. Are you sure? Are you comfortable with this?" And I was like, "Oh, hell yes." I love this kind of humor. I love sarcastic stuff. I love busting balls. I love having my own balls busted. So I was always on board. There was never a moment, I never read anything in a script where I thought, I am uncomfortable with this. And if I had been, all I would have had to do was say it, because this was such a giving environment. If we had any issues, we had Amy, kind of our mother on the set, and then Mike Schur running the whole show, and he's running the writer's room, and he's taking care of them. It was a special place, which is why I wrote this book. This is, and I hate this term because it's so kind of too sweetie, but it is my love letter to the show, because it was love and laughter for 7 seasons.
Oh, I'm glad. And Jerry gets the last laugh because he writes the book, too.
Exactly.
I know, such a deep cast. You have to go back to, like, Cheers and stuff. I mean, and Laverne and Shirley, Hots and Pfeffer Incorporated. I heard your Shamil Shlamazo. I got you, sir. Before we go, I want to rapid fire on your co-stars, because I know we're up against the clock. So just first word that comes to your mind when I say Amy Poehler, Leslie Knope.
Leslie Knope is, I think, one of the greatest rah-rah cheerleaders character that's ever been out in the world.
All right, Nick Offerman's Ron Swanson.
There's no manlier man that has ever walked the planet.
Aziz Ansari, Tommy Haverford, Entertainment 720.
He is the most obnoxious go-getter, and thankfully learns a lot of lessons as life goes on.
Chris Pratt, Andy Dwyer.
Oh, my gosh. Just the dumbest, most lovable, wonderful idiot in the whole world.
Aubrey Plaza, April Ludgate.
Oh, smart-ass and funny and quick.
Rashida Jones and Perkins.
Oh, the sweetest. She's our tropical fish. She's gorgeous and kind and loving.
Rob Lowe, Chris Traeger.
Oh, my God. First of all, too handsome. Let's get that out of the way right now. Whether it's Rob Lowe or Chris Traeger, just too handsome. But Chris Traeger, boy, he never wants to be a troublemaker. He's always putting it off on other people.
Yeah, and his cohort, Adam Scott, Ben Wyatt.
Oh, Ben. Ben is one of my favorite bits with Ben. I have 2 favorite bits. One, he never understood Jerry's wife. How did he get Gail Gergich? Like, literally, he said, was she drugged? Was she kidnapped? And also his fear of the police or any authority figure kills me. Yeah, he's kind of a scaredy cat.
Yeah. All right. Oh, we have to hit Retta as Donna, of course, one of the greats.
Treat yourself. Make sure you have a Mercedes and live your best life. That's my Donna.
And pick up the new book, Welcome to Pawnee, Stories of Friendship, Waffles, and Parks and Rec for the holidays. Jim, thank you so much. This was hilarious.
This was great. Thank you so much.
Eggs, bacon, and toast forever.
Forever and ever, yes.
Thanks so much for listening to Beyond the Fame with Jason Fraley. Our theme music is Scott Buckley's Clarion. Remember to give us a 5-star rating if you like what you hear. We'll see you next time.